We're starting the portal install. Brackets just got painted, they're drying. These are the tools you need to remove everything that needs to come off for the rear. All you take off is the hub and the knuckle. The reason the axle is out, because I was gonna go ahead and grease mine up, which you should always do when you buy a new Rubicon. But apparently Honda's been watching Mud Puppy videos, and this axle actually has a lot of grease on it. These things used to be bone dry from the factory, so good on Honda for making at least one improvement on the later models. I'm gonna pack some more grease in there, and we're gonna put the portal together. The rears are extremely simple. There's no brakes or steering to mess with. Just very simple assembly. I'll walk you through it, but the fronts are the tricky part. I'm installing the Pioneer 500 top gears into my portal boxes. You gotta make sure you get the right ones. These 6-inch portals, unlike the other ones, they're left and right. So you gotta make sure you get the right gears and the right ones, because obviously there's different gears for the front and rear, small splines in the rear. That's what it looks like with the portal bracket on there. Those bushings press in very easily with a vise. The shaft in the center of the spacer slides right through. And then when you tighten it all down, it gets snug, but feels pretty good. So now I just gotta put the portal on. And then I realized I had built up this box, but this is for the right side. So now I'm putting the left side box together. And like my other video, you know, the spline side down, and that is a Pioneer 500 front input gear. All right, so it's almost on. Ran into one little thing. So there's 3 bolts that screw into the aluminum here, here, and here. This one is designed to go through a brake back plate, then into the aluminum. So this bolt is too long because I'm not using any brake back plates because my rear brake is up there. So Super ATV also includes these bolts, which are for some of the front brackets that I'm not using because I don't have front steering brackets. Mine are welded, so I don't need that bolt. I'm just gonna swap out this longer one for the shorter one, this one location. You see how the case is thinner there, so you don't want to put too long of a bolt in and blow out your threads. All of these have to be torqued to 60 inch-pounds or 60 foot-pounds, I believe. So if using the instructions, depending on what portals you bought, you might be a little confused by that. So I figured I'd put it in the video to be helpful. But yeah, it says 60 foot-pounds max. So don't use an impact on these 3 locations because they thread into aluminum. But yeah, don't put this long bolt in there if you're running these on a Rubicon and you're not going to put the brake brackets on. Pro tip. Otherwise, install is going very smoothly. Just noticed something annoying. I ordered some Pioneer 500 axle nuts, and they sent me another set of Pioneer 1000 ones. You see that's 117, and the ones I had before are marked 117 as well. And the issue here is that these don't go deep enough into the gear. So you end up with this gap, which means you can't get the cap on. The nut sticks out of the portal box too far. So that's frustrating. I'm gonna have to cut these down and then clean up the threads to make them work. So that adds a lot of work to this install. Not sure what's going on here. Didn't have this issue with my 4-inch portals. And I don't think it has anything to do with the portals. I think Super ATV just sent me the wrong nuts. The first portal is done. I'm not 25% of the way there because the rears are way easier than the fronts. Let's look over it, see if we can come up to any conclusions. Seems to be a little bit of a gap there. Interesting. This plate might be thinner than the one on the previous backing plates I got, but I'm sure it's plenty strong for a Rubicon. You can see that unlike Super ATV plates, this one does go to the bottom of the portal. Not that it gets you a whole lot because there's no bolt down there. But anyways, and also I took the rotor off because I don't have rear brake calipers on a Rubicon. So I didn't want to run all that extra weight, so I took the rotor off. But it was a real pain in the butt. So these screws have a lot of Loctite on them and they're really tight. I actually broke a couple bits and twisted the shit out of an Allen wrench before I realized that, or remembered, I've done this before, you've got to go in here and hit this really hard. Like just hit down. That'll stretch the screw down in the hole, and then they came off easily with a 1/2-inch impact and a Harbor Freight 6mm M6 bit. That you can see there, it has melted into my scissors, but that's the piece I cut off the end of that nut to make it fit. So definitely not an easy bolt-on experience so far. I am running 6-inch portals, which makes it a little more complicated. If you're running Pioneer 500 ones, you wouldn't have had the issue I had with the nuts, I don't think. So something to keep in mind, but for me, 2 inches is worth it. Yeah, so looks pretty mean. The box is clocked a good bit. You can see, if you look at it right here, we got some rake going on. So pretty great for extending my center line back without having to run different control arms. So I may end up doing rake control arms eventually anyways, but we'll see what this gets me for now as far as not water wheeling. I'm sure it's going to water wheel a lot. The 4s did it, the 6s will be worse. But overall pretty good. I like that he kept the brackets a little lighter. The ones that Super ATV sells and a lot of the ones that you put on stuff is way overkill. You're already adding a lot of weight. You don't want to add much of overkill. So I think they're plenty strong. So yeah, now I'm going to do this side, then we're going to go on the front, which is going to be a real pain in the butt because we're going to mess with steering, mess with ball joints, all that stuff. But we do have these nice screw-in ball joints that should make the ball joint installation a little easier. Starting on the front, remove the knuckle. It's a little more pain in the ass to go do ball joints. That's the stock ball joint. I just drove it out with a 24mm socket while it was in the arm like this with a shock boat to hold it. It's pretty easy to punch it out. Now you've got to install these big beefy suckers and torque them to 100 foot-pounds. One thing to note is that you must use these. They're a different taper than the stock joint. So with JBC's new portal brackets, you've got to use these ball joints. You don't have the option to be lazy and use the stock ones. Not that I ever do that. One thing I noticed is kind of funny is there's no ring holding this boot on here and it fits kind of loose. So I'm probably going to add a zip tie or maybe a wire tie in here once it's all said and done to try to trap that grease. And these are adjustable. So they're badass ball joints, but they're a little complicated. So all these ball joints, I just assembled it into its 4 pieces or 5 pieces, I guess. And then I installed this piece first. It's a very nice press fit into the control arm. I am 100% confident in how it went in. It felt really good. I tapped it up there a little bit after having this in the freezer and heating this up just a hair. Tapped it in there and then put this nut on top of it and cranked it down to suck it up through the control arm. So that's a very nice way to install it. Went together easily. Very nice press fit. Now I'm going to reassemble it. I'm obviously going to pack it full of grease so I don't worry about greasing it later. And then I'm going to find a way to secure that boot a little better. But this one fits great. Unfortunately, the bottom one is not a complete press fit into that bottom tab. It fits a little loose. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I would like to see it fit tighter because of issues I've had in the past, but it'll probably be okay because it's a clamp on, so you just have to tighten it down that much more. But you can see that this just falls right in. I would like that to also be a press fit. That's my one complaint so far. It's probably not going to be a big deal, but if you're going to try to run monster tires on this thing, which I'm not, you'd want that to be real tight. Now it is a clamp-on ball joint, so it should be okay, but again, that doesn't give me a warm fuzzy. As a result of this not being a press fit on the lower ball joint, when you try to tighten this nut, the whole joint just spins. And this nut needs to be tightened to 100 foot-pounds in order to have any chance of it working because it's not a press fit. So that's a problem. The ball joint's installed, it's complete. That was a lot of work, but came out pretty good, I think. The way to get this guy tight is to hold the bottom of it with a pair of channel locks, pull the boot down, hold on to the bottom, and then snug the top. And once you get it tight, it'll stop spinning. You can really crank on it. I got it really close to 100 foot-pounds. It's hard to find a shallow 38mm socket to get in there. Had to go get one of those, but other than that, not too bad. So it's got to tighten these 2 nuts all the way down now, and then add that cotter pin, and I'm ready to put the portal box on. Alrighty guys, so the 4 portals are on. It was a freaking job. It took me a solid 4.5 hours. Taking all the Honda stuff off, very easy, but putting all this new stuff on, a lot of work, a lot of components to mess with, and you know, it's just like any big job like this. You're gonna have that on those big jobs. You're gonna run into little issues. So I'm gonna show you a few things. So the CV joints do clear the ball joints and the grease zerk. Obviously you can't get to that grease zerk without pulling the axle, but everything clears, which is great. If you're running a bigger axle, you might have to do some grinding on the top of that ball joint there. So these are the JBC portal brackets with his badass ball joints. And I thought I had some stickers from him. I should have put those stickers in the video. Oh, here we go. JBC Off-Road. So that's who made the portal brackets. Super ATV 6-inch portals. We already did a video on that. And these are the badass clamp-on ball joints. So I showed you a little bit earlier, these ball joints are a press fit and then they get clamped on. These are not a press fit, they just get clamped, but everyone says it's fine that way. Just make sure you get plenty of torque on it, which I did. Starting to spin on me, couldn't really get an impact on it, so I ended up holding the bottom of it with a pair of channel locks and tighten the shit out of that. Both these nuts are torqued both the gold nuts, torqued to 100 foot-pounds. They're adjustable, so you go till you bottom them out, then you back it off a quarter of a turn. They're all packed with grease. I got portal blood in here. And yeah, so the only thing I haven't done yet is the tie rods. These are still the stock tie rods. I do have these badass tie rods from JBC as well. Those came with the portal brackets. I'm gonna put those on probably tomorrow. Just wanted to do this to get it done, then I'll mess with that stuff tomorrow. Running out of energy here. So there's a ton of extra bolts and stuff left over, obviously, because I have a portal kit for a Pioneer 1000. So these are all the stuff that would be used with the Pioneer brackets that I didn't use, and the brake lines and all that. I deleted the front brakes like I did with my 4-inch portals. The brake lines are just zip tied up there. There's a bolt and nut to keep water out of them, but they're out of the way. Rears were really simple, directly bolt on, except for I had to cut the nuts. Looking at the nuts from my last portal set, you can see that the other guy who cut these nuts as well. See, that's not perfectly flat. So you can either cut the P1000 nuts, or you can try to get the right P500 nuts. I ended up cutting them, wasn't too bad. Everything went on easy. So that was the only trick on the rear. The fronts, there was a few tricks with the ball joints. And you have to kind of play with the bolts to get the right bolts everywhere. So you can see that these two bolt heads are different. They're supposed to be used with the bracket for the Pioneer 1000, so they stick out a lot. So I just stuck them up top, we don't really see them. The axles do stick out a lot from the cup, from the top gear. That's just a Super ATV thing. That's how a lot of these fit. It means that the front portals are spaced out a little farther than the rear portals. If you look in the rear, the axles sit much farther into the portal box. That's the same as my 4 inches. Same situation there. So I may end up having to run a 1-inch wheel spacer in the rear to get everything leveled out. So one question I always get is, what made you decide to do this particular build or go with this, whatever, you know, whatever. Somebody answer that before I get it. So I had a Rubicon before on 4-inch portals, and it was great. I had a couple issues with it. The ball joints scared me. Never had any issues, but I didn't trust them. So these new portals that JBC came out with, you know, they're clamp-on ball joints, so no worries about ball joints anymore. So I wanted to upgrade those, and these have clocking in them. So you can see that the axle center line is here, and the portal center line is up here. So they're clocked to give you more tire clearance without a bunch of trimming and stuff there. So you can run a bigger tire without much trimming. It also increases the wheelbase, which is good for keeping the bike pulling and not just standing for doing water relays. Front and rear are clocked with these new brackets. That's for the 4 and 6s. So I wanted clocking, I wanted better ball joints, and I wanted a little more ground clearance. And when I was running 35s, 4-inch portals didn't quite have a low enough gear. It worked, but I wanted a little lower ratio. These 6-inch portals have twice the reduction of the 4-inch portals. Super ATV calls it a 30 and a 45 based on how they do their math, their percentages, it's semantics. But the actual ratios are 1.41 and 1.82. So you're getting a lot more reduction with the 6-inch 45 boxes. So this thing will spin the shit out of just about any 35 you can put on it without having to mess with an internal gear reduction or anything like that. So the reason I wanted to redo a portal Rubicon build is because the other one I had some, it wasn't perfect. There was other things I wanted, that's why I got rid of that bike. But now this should be good to go. And once I get bored of it, I'll buy a Pioneer 1000, or probably before that I'll buy a Pioneer 1000. I can throw these on there once I get bored of the Pioneer 1000 stock. So that's why I got a full kit. I didn't just order the boxes. So I got a ton of extra parts. You know, the rotors, the brackets, all kinds of stuff I didn't even touch. And my rear brakes, I just have the rear pinion brake. That's how I did it with my last Rubicon on portals. The portals slow you down a lot, and the rear brake works really good, especially after you have all the gear reduction in the portal box and the diff. So all I really need is a way to control water relays, and that's the rear brake. So I don't think I'm gonna mess with front brakes. If I wanted to, I could buy some Pioneer 500s, Pioneer 700 brackets, calipers, and I can make it work. So I may end up doing that, but probably not. So yeah, let me show you what it looks like at full lock. Very cool. The axles don't seem to be in a bind or anything like that. I was playing with them. They seem happy. It steers easy, no popping or anything like that. So now I just got to go pick up some tires and wheels for it. We're going to try it out on that old set of 33 Aztecs first that my buddy has, and we're going to see how it clears, see how top speed is, and probably end up going to 35s. I'd like to run 33s, but it might just be too slow.